Little Orange Plum.
Hello everyone and welcome to Little Orange Plum, and today we will be discussing a little subreddit called Men Writing for Women. And today we're pretty much going to be doing the John Green edition. Not quite sure why he suddenly just became everyone's favourite man writing for women, but yeah, he's all over this subreddit today. Let's have a look. Starting off with a little what have we got here? We've got, it occurred to me why they call it eye contact. I walked into the circle and sat down next to Isaac, 2 seats away from the boy. I glanced at him again. He was still watching me. Look, let me just say it. He was hot. Not a non-hot boy stares at you and it's relentlessly, and it's at best awkward, and at worst it's a form of assault. But a hot boy, well, I feel like this is just kind of one of those things where it's like every single guy who's ever been a little bit too intense with a girl that he doesn't really know has just made her feel a little bit awkward, a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit creeped out, and then she straight up turned around to him, stood up for herself and just been like, hey, can you back off? Can you calm down? Can you not, please? And his immediate reaction is, well, if I were prettier, then you would love this. And it's just kind of not registering in the guy's head. It's like, it's a very simple concept. It's, this is creepy and unwanted because she's not attracted to you, but this does not have anything to do with how beautiful you are, for example. And it comes from two things. One, it comes from you're pursuing a girl who does not want you, who's most likely, I imagine, made it clear to you at least once that she's not attracted, and you just kept pushing. And two, it's coming from you're insecure about getting rejected, you're not comfortable getting rejected, and therefore you immediately turn it into this whole, oh, you're superficial, society is superficial, I am so victimized, I am the worst, I am blah, blah. And it's like, I'm saying this as a girl who's not into guys, I'm a lesbian woman, and I've had it happen where I've had to reject guys that are very confident, very secure in themselves, and their immediate reaction is, okay, so you don't like me, that's fine, bye. And then I had it happen with the same situation occur with guys who are not very secure, and in terms of physical appearance, we're not talking about people who are like beautiful and ugly, we're talking about people who kind of look the same. They're both just kind of in the middle, but one of them is just secure in his masculinity, secure in his sense of self, and therefore can get rejected and can be like, okay, whatever. The other one gets rejected, he keeps pushing, he just keeps pushing, and you're just like, stop, please, stop. Just, I've said no, clearly, explicitly, and he just keeps pushing, and then you finally get to a point where it's like, you really got to drive it home with this guy that it's a no from me. And then he goes, but if I was prettier, you're so superficial, oh, why can't you look past the physical? And it's like, at this point, it used to be that your body was physically male and I was just not attracted. Then it became, you're creeping me out because I've said no and you're not taking a no. And I feel like it's definitely just one of those things that every single guy has it in their head, that girls think like this, that every girl thinks, oh, it's okay when pretty boys stare at me but not the ugly ones. And it's like, no, it's when you've been told no and you don't take no for the answer, that's when it gets creepy. So when a girl's been like, hey, can you stop staring at me, you're freaking me out, like, will you back off? And he just doesn't. But yeah, that's definitely a guy's perspective, and this is very teenage boy as well. This is the thing, because it's like, I can remember being, I think about 13, 14, and watching the Vlog Brothers, because John Green is one of the Vlog Brothers on YouTube. And for those of you that don't know, they have a YouTube channel. He is a YouTuber and author, and I can remember watching him as I was growing up, and him being like the fully grown adult that talks to little kids, and now it's just reading this. Like, which book is it? It's just The Fault in Our Stars. That's awkward, because The Fault in Our Stars is one that he would have written, as I say, I've been watching his channel since I was like 13, 14. He wrote that book when I was late teens, early 20s, I think. So he would have been late 30s when he wrote this, and as a man who is middle-aged, practically had a child of his own, is married, still thinks this kind of teenage boy thought of, oh, well, if she turns me down, obviously it's because women are just superficial, blah, blah, blah. And we've got, as I say, this is the John Green episode. I'm not sure why. It's just so, it's just, I mean, this is kind of a cringy moment of realizing someone that I used to watch their YouTube videos as a child is, a cringily bad writer. Okay, so we got, she had the kind eyes that predisposed you to supporting her every endeavor, and not just beautiful, but hot too. With her breasts straining against her tight tank top, her curved legs swing back and forth beneath the swing, flip-flops dangling from her electric blue painted toenails. It was right then, between when I asked her about the labyrinth and when she answered me, that I realized the importance of curves, of the thousands of places where girls' bodies ease from one place to another, from arc of the foot to ankle to calf, from calf to hip, to waist to breast to neck, to ski slope nose, to forehead to shoulder, to the concave arch of the back, to the butt, to the etc. I noticed curves before, of course, but I never quite apprehended their significance. Like, really? Looking for Alaska, that's, yeah, he's writing about, to be fair, this doesn't sound as bad because it's not, it's a teenager, it's supposed to be a teenager, so it is someone who's, because Looking for Alaska is entirely about teenagers, but it's just weird that this is written in a young adult fiction novel. It's like, yeah, it's just very cringy that he's kind of dehumanized women so much in a young adult fiction novel, yeah. But yeah, sorry, John Green, but you're being featured multiple times in this episode. Okay, this is the non-John Green version, part of the episode. Okay, I went down a rabbit hole and discovered this excerpt from Roy Jerdam's, I've no idea if I've said that right, poem Pedicure Virgin. Oh, the title is just... I don't know what came over me that day. An instant of weakness after years of resistance, I suppose. My beaming spouse leads me, a dog on a short leash, into the forbidden citadel, the sanctum sanctorium of my feminine fastidious, the purple prosaicness of my very big adjectives, and unnecessary in the extreme. The dreaded nail salon. I love that. What? My beaming spouse leads me to the dreaded nail salon. Is this a girl or a woman? Okay. As we passed through the portal, we entered another dimension. One not of man, one of woman. Overwhelmed by estrogen, like a Superman in the presence of kryptonite, my strength saps. The harpies in the salon immediately sense fresh meat. Hailing my wife like Caesar in the Roman triumph, gleeful in the knowledge that of the barbaric sacrifice to follow, light-headed, my eyes dart around, a trapped beast seeking escape. I mean, this is actually a male character, but it's just, yeah, it's just cringe. Like, really? Your wife wants to involve you in something that's of her interest? How many times did you drag her somewhere that she didn't want to go to do something that that you wanted to do? But yeah, cringe. I guess you're destined to be alone forever if you're over 35 and female. Elantris by Brendan Sanderson. Okay. She would probably be in her mid-30s, but she would have at least one more chance to find the right man. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those awkward things. And it's especially when you realise there's a lot of guys out there who get to a certain age where they kind of grow past that superficial nature. And I think most people in general are quite superficial when they are young, just is something you have to learn to look past the surface. I don't think it's something that comes innately to many people, but it's something that comes to most people with age. And I think it's just, yeah, it's just awkward that for a lot of guys it does seem to come a lot later to them than it does with women. I guess because like society just kind of gives them a permission slip to get away with this kind of crap, you know, it's just like been expected. Oh, women care about their looks and men are allowed to look at the pretty girls, and it's all about girls being pretty and men being everything else and being allowed to have every other quality on the earth. But women, I feel like this is the turning into a bit of a Gone Girl speech, you know. The highest compliment a guy can give to a woman is that she's a cool girl. But cool girls can be anything. She can be intelligent, she can be funny, she can be all of these things, but she must always also be hot of course. And it's just one of those societal things. It's accepted. Men only date women that are attractive. Women will date any ugly guy, providing he has some other quality that makes up for his looks. It's just kind of accepted. And as I say, it's usually women will date unattractive men if they are interesting or funny or kind or blah, 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 blah. It's not little girls that will date. It's not teenagers or girls in their 20s, early 20s, who tend to date the ugly men that much, because definitely, as I say, depth comes with age. It comes with maturity. But it's just kind of accepted. Girls grow up and they date ugly men. Boys grow up, they date hot women. And eventually guys get to an age where they realise you're no prize catch. You are not entitled to have a girl who's hot and this, that and the other and every other thing you want. You can either have a girl who's hot and who will make you miserable, or you can have a girl who's good to be around and who you love and who's going to be very much great for you, but who may not be that hot. But yeah, it's just such cringe when every single guy... Because you know it mainly comes from men in their 30s who'll be like, why do these girls in their 30s expect to date men in their 30s? You should be shacked up and locked down and trapped with a man for the rest of your life by the time you're 25, otherwise you're fucked. And you have to literally tell these guys, you do realise the reason why you're very lonely and constantly surrounded by available 30-something-year-old women is not because she's stupid or there's something wrong with her. It's because you're the kind of guy who whines about being alone, about not being able to get a girlfriend whilst being surrounded by available, willing, potentially eager 30-something-year-old women, but you won't date them because they're not 18 and supermodel looking. But yeah, okay. Awkward. I'm just finding this to be very cringy. Just very... It's a look into the mind of a lot of men who should know better, who are more than old enough to know better, but who, for some reason, are a bit immature in their writing style. We have another one. Padme Amidala was a queen, freedom fighter, and senator, but not to Matthew Stover, author of The Revenge of the Sith novelization. This is Padme Amidala. She was astonishingly accomplished as a young woman who, in her short life, had already been the youngest ever elected queen of her planet, a daring partisan guerrilla, and a measured, articulate, and persuasive voice of reason in the Republic Senate. But she is, at this moment, none of these things. She can still play at them. She pretends to be senator. She still wields the moral authority of a former queen, and she is not shy about using her reputation for the fierce physical courage to her advantage in political debate. But her inmost reality, the most fundamental, unbreakable core of her being, is something entirely different. She is Anakin Skywalker's wife. He's her waifu. Yeah. And that's just, yeah. That's definitely wishful thinking, that you're going to accomplish all of that and just be at your core someone's wife. She's your wife. That's all she is. She is not a person in herself. She is not a woman of accomplishment and repute in herself. No, she wants to be a wife. Keep dreaming, boys. Okay, I am called a slut for having a different body type. Context. So I am... Oh no, wait, this is entitled parents. My apologies. Where did these all come from? Okay. So I do believe that is my last thing that I had prepared for today. So there's that. We have Padme Amidala. Wife. As I say, it just gets progressively more cringy. I don't know the backstory of this particular author, but it's so cringy for someone to be fully grown adult enough to be taken seriously by publicists, and yet having the mentality that I assumed that was, like, when I read stuff like this online, I automatically give the guy the benefit of doubt and think, oh, middle school, a 14-year-old boy, but that's a grown man that wrote that. That's just embarrassing. Yeah, so that's our stuff for today. I hope you guys enjoyed our cringe-tastic episode of r/MenWritingWomen. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video absolutely everywhere that you can. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.